Hi, Lizette. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Venture Love podcast. I'm super excited to have you on my show. For those of you listening, our listeners today, you'll definitely want to check Lizette out. She is a mama and business owner of Madre Mía, a Latina-owned brand inspired by the fierce, intelligent luchadora and powerful madres, tías, abuelas, hermanas that came before us. I'm super duper excited and happy to have you. So welcome to my podcast.
No, muchas gracias. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here and just share a little bit more of what Madre Mía is.
Amazing. Awesome. So let's get started. So for our listeners who are brand new to you and all you do, I'd love it if you could share a little bit of your history, maybe your upbringing, and then also, of course, your life today, what you're up to, the exciting, cool things that I've recently come across, and share a little bit more about your business and how it helps others.
Oh my goodness. So that's a lot.
That's a loaded question.
Yes. So I am from a small town. Well, it's not so small anymore, but it's still smaller than Houston. So I'm going to go with small town in the border of Texas with Mexico, south border. It's called McAllen, Texas. And I grew up there. I was born and I grew up there. And it was amazing because we got to experience a lot of Mexico, right? Basically, McAllen is an extension of Mexico, and it was amazing. My grandmother actually moved here when her kids were younger. Her youngest child was probably wasn't even born yet. So right before. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine. You're back.
So yeah, I'm sorry, where was I? I got distracted for a second.
You were talking about your upbringing in your small town.
Yeah, so my grandmother actually came over here when my youngest aunt wasn't even born yet. But she came over here to obviously give her children a better future. But she left my grandfather in Reynosa, which is like right across the border. Said, hey, you stay here, because my grandfather did not like the U.S., but it was a very different lifestyle from what he was used to. So he said, you go, I'll stay here, come see me on the weekends. It's literally 20 minutes away. Like, you go. So my grandmother, like, basically, right, moved to McAllen, and she was a single mom during the week. And then would go back and wash laundry and make lunches for the week and do everything that she had to do, and then come back and take care of the kids and all that. So anyway, when growing up, every weekend we would go with my grandmother to go to Mexico and do whatever she had to do over there. So it was awesome to really be part of that culture, right? Not just like, I'm Mexican, right? So I like, this the culture that we grew up in, but actually experience what it's like to live in Mexico. We would spend summers there, and it was awesome. And I always loved just spending as much time as I could there. So I grew up in all that, and it really inspired me and wanted me and made me want to keep going back. So when I got older, I knew that growing up actually in middle school, and I would always tell my teachers, oh my gosh, when I get older, I'm going to become a teacher, and then I'm going to buy a school in Mexico, and then I'm going to help all the kids over there, because it's so unfair that they have to pay for education. That was always like my thing, right? Of course, I grew up, I didn't end up being a teacher because, just different circumstances of life. But I always had that mentality that I wanted to help, and I wanted to help my people. I wanted to help Latinos, and I wanted them to have opportunities to do whatever they wanted. So I've been involved in a lot of outreach programs for Latino women, and just bringing resources to the community that they wouldn't otherwise have. And that's kind of, how this all started, right? Just bringing that to our community, and slowly, like, certain things led me to what I'm doing now. I actually ended up in this situation because I was working with, I wasn't working. I was planning my daughter's quinceañera for, all right. But we grew up very poor, and even as adults, like, because we didn't choose the education route and all that, you know, it was a little bit harder to get going. So when my daughter's quinceañera came up, I was like, okay, well, we're gonna make this work, but we're gonna, you know, be budget friendly and try to save where we can. I've always, my entire life, have looked at have taken pictures. Like, I've always been the designated picture taker at parties and everything. Like, everyone was always annoyed because I'd stop moments and be like, wait, let me take a picture. Or, you know, just there with my little Polaroid camera everywhere I went.
I love it.
Anyway, so when I was doing the quinceañera, I was like calling around, getting pricing. I mean, it's like $800 to get pictures taken. And I'm like, do I really want to spend that money on that? And I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to do it myself. I had a decent little starter beginner DSLR camera. And I'm like, well, I'm going to do it myself. So I did. I decided to do it myself. And the pictures turned out pretty good. And I was amazed with myself. I was like, wow, these are pretty good. And I'm like, and it made me happy. Like, taking pictures has always made me happy. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm like, I'm going to start a little photography business and see what happens. And I did. Like, one day I decided that this is what I was going to do. And I started doing little business, you know, little mini sessions, like very cheap. Like, I mean, I was charging almost nothing, just to get started, just to get my portfolio going, just to see if people are actually gonna like my photos. Like, I know they did, and I slowly started growing and growing. And I can say that I'm at a pretty comfortable place with my photography right now. And with that, I got asked to come on into a company to do some product photography. And it was a supplement company. And I started working with them, and they asked me, you know what, we need somebody to do all our social media stuff. Like, can you come on, do our photography, do our social media posts, do all the creative? Like, we're not good at that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can help you all with that. And so I started working with them. And slowly we built a relationship, and just kind of like, we were talking. And one day we were talking, and I started telling them, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, it'd be so great if we had a company like this for Latina women, like something like a self-care brand, not necessarily just supplements, but just products that help them, you know, just relax and take care of themselves, but something that is geared towards Latina women. I'm like, because obviously there's all kinds of supplements that you can choose from. There's so many out there, but there isn't one that is geared just towards Latina women, that a Latina woman can see this and identify and see themselves in this product right away. So anyway, we talked about it, and kind of just in conversation. And then I come back the next day, and he tells me, like, hey, Lizette, I want to talk to you. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I cannot stop thinking about our conversation. He's like, I really think that you're onto something. It really sounds like a good idea. And I think that if you are willing to put in the work, that I'm willing to back you up financially. And I'm like, what? Like, so I was scared. And I didn't know if it was going to work, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But I knew that I could not let this opportunity go. I'm like, this opportunity does not come up just out of nowhere for anybody, you know. And I'm like, if I say no to this opportunity, it's like I'm letting so many people down. I'm like, so I have to say yes, not only for myself, but for the people that need to see something like this out there. So that's what I did. I took a chance on myself years ago when I started with my photography, and that led me to this, which is, I mean, I still think about it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how did I get here? So anyway, after that happened, like, we just started working on the brand, I say we, but it was really me. Like, I'm like, I just had to like, start thinking of everything and coming up with the logo. And oh my gosh, that was the hardest part for sure. Coming up with the logo, like making sure that it seemed right, it felt right. And then just coming up with what we wanted the brand, what I wanted the brand to represent, and for who I wanted the brand to be for. So yeah, I know that was a lot. I was like, I don't know. I hope that made sense.
No, yeah, no, that was perfect. I always love asking for the people that come on the podcast to share more about themselves so that our listeners can learn more about you, but also for myself. I mean, I'm meeting you as well for the first time on video today and learning more about your brand and your product. I've done a little bit of research about what it is you do, and I'm inspired, but it's always so nice to like soak up everything, or as much as we can, from you as well. And I was really resonating with your story growing up, and I loved hearing that you were able to have this close bonding connection with your family. And I really do think, and listening through your story too, that the people that are in our lives, good, bad, whatever the reason is, they really do inspire and guide you, and little things, little by little, they take you to where you're meant to be, and they inspire you no matter what. So I loved listening and hearing that. And it's interesting. And also I love that you took that chance on yourself with planning your daughter's quince, because I know it's expensive. I mean, I grew up with very limited funds as well. I actually didn't have a quinceañera, also because my birthday is
I didn't either.
So I love that you made it work for your children, Yeah. And that was beautiful to hear that. So I love that you took matters into your own hands and you became the photographer that you needed for your baby's special day. So that was beautiful to hear. And I also love that led you to this other amazing, incredible opportunity that you've built. Obviously you have his support, this partner support that you're mentioning, but you've done so much of the work, which, as a small business owner, I know how much work it takes to launch and to put yourself out there and to just move past, the naysayers, or move past any of like the negative feelings you might have, or the doubt, right? I think we all probably have that in the beginning. But I love your story. I love that you are self-made and you've built this brand and this product. So I'd love for you to share maybe a little bit more about what exactly the product is for those that might be listening and aren't sure or haven't had the opportunity to check you out. So what exactly is the product?
So our first product, there will be many, but our first product is a hair and nail supplement. It is called Greñuda Pero Fierce. And it is a hair and nail supplement, and that is our first product. We have a few others in the works right now. Our second one is already being the manufacturing company is already getting all the ingredients together. They're globally sourced, so just finding the products, and that's going to be a mood and stress supplement, and it's going to be called Échale Ganas. So
I'm sure every Latino household has heard that phrase. I know I heard it from my dad and my mom and family members. So I love. I honestly can't think of another Latino based product. I know there are some out there, but I can't think of any. So I love that you're putting this out into the world, and there's a huge market for women and men and children that can benefit from this. So, gosh, so many questions I have for you. So in terms of, I know you're a mama, you mentioned you're a mama of 5, which is beautiful. And you're putting this product out. Who would this product be specifically for? Is there an age range or a certain demographic of people that this product would be great for?
So the market that we're obviously marketing is for Latino women, and it can literally be from anybody from 18 all the way to as old as you want to be. As long as your doctor doesn't have any kind of anything in place that you can't take, then you should be fine to take this product. Obviously the hair and nail supplement, if you have any kind of hair loss or you're trying to make your hair grow a little bit faster, just make it shinier. You know, as you as a mama to be, you know, you struggle with that hair loss once you have babies. So it's really for yeah. So yeah, for sure anybody in that age can definitely enjoy this product. And that's just our first two products. Our second product, our third and fourth product, at least these are my dreams. Obviously it won't be set in stone until it actually happens, but my hope is that we are going to make a hair mask that will go along with our greñuda supplement. And then we will also have a face mask to help you relax along with your mood and stress supplement. So, and obviously those will be as well for just about anybody that needs them.
I love that. I'm all about self-care and products, and I've got a ton of stuff in my bathroom that I like to use. So this is a beautiful product and brand that you're building and growing, and I'm so happy to have you on the podcast. I know that we're discussing your brand and your amazing products, but aside from your products, are there any tips for those listening today with, you know, all of the experience that you've had either through building your business and being a Latina woman or being a woman in general in today's world? Are there any tips that you have for listeners today that might be feeling like overwhelmed or maybe stressed, or, as you know, with the craziness of what goes on in the world these days? Do you have any tips that come up at the top of your mind right now that might benefit those listening right now?
So first of all, I just want to say that if you're going through something, know that you are not alone. So many women experience, stress and guilt, right? From feeling certain feelings. Like, I was talking to a mom the other day that was just, she was actually pregnant, and she was saying, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed because my baby wants me to go on and on and on and play with her. And I feel so bad because obviously I'm pregnant and not, I can't keep up with her as much anymore. And, we all have those feelings. We all feel stressed. Sometimes we just can't we can't be super mom, and that's okay. And that goes for even women that aren't moms yet. Like, sometimes you just feel stressed, and it comes with life. It's part of life. You are not alone, and it's okay to take a moment for yourself. My biggest thing is, as Latina women especially, we have always been raised to take care of our moms, take care of our dads, take care of our parents, take care of our sisters, take care of our little siblings, take care of our husbands, take care of our kids, take care of the whole world. And you forget to take care of yourself because you're so involved in taking care of everybody else and making sure everybody else is happy. And let me tell you, if you are not taking care of yourself first, then I'm sorry to tell you, you're probably not taking care of anybody else how you should be, because you need to make sure that you're happy and that you're taking care of yourself first in order to make, not feel bitter, right, doing those other things. So if I could give you one recommendation, is that you just breathe. Know that it's not the end of the world if somebody doesn't get dinner tonight. Or they will live, and if you need a moment, then take that moment for yourself, because your sanity is worth it. You are worth it. So just chill. It's okay. Everything else will work out.
I love that. I think I can hear that a million times, and it always resonates with myself, but honestly with every woman I know of. Yeah. And you're right, especially a lot of times, I'm obviously Latina, but I grew up around this world where you do cater. I remember my mom putting herself last. Her plate was always the last one on the table. I remember that all the time, and I always thought, God, well, is her food cold now? Or she, it's so frustrating to see. But I think with my life, personally speaking, I'm really doing as much as I can to practice that, because it's so important. Especially, I'm pregnant right now, and as I'm bringing this baby into this world, I'm already thinking like, okay, I can't stop the things that make me feel sane. I can't
Yeah.
stop the massages when I can, or the little nail appointments when I can, or the baths when I can, or reading a book, or whatever it is that makes you feel yourself. So I love, love, love that you said that, because I think it's so, so important. And this was so, so great.
Yeah.
I'm super grateful that you spent your time here. So for those interested in learning more about you and your products and your brand and connecting with you, how can people find you and connect and purchase your products?
So on all our social medias, you can find us at Madre Mía Belleza, and then our website is madremiabelleza.com. And that's how you'll find us. And feel free to send me a message if you have any questions about the product, or you just want to get to know me better. Feel free to reach out. I am here to answer any questions. And yeah.
I love it. Thank you so, so much, Lizette. This was so nice having you on the podcast today.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. I am so excited that we got to chat and got to share a little bit more.
Awesome. Thank you.